welcome back to another vlog. It's about 9:48. I'm still at home. I am having one of those days where I have about this much energy and motivation. I'm not sick or anything. I just feel like we're coming off of Easter weekend and we hosted. I did a pop-up the day before. I had a crazy week leading up to all of it, and so I think my body is just like still needing time to decompress. I'm kind of feeling like I want to just go to Target and shop around and maybe get a coffee and try to find some photography props for our photo shoot on Friday, and then maybe spend an hour there and then head to the studio. So I do have to ship a bunch of orders. I have to make products. It's like I have a full day. I know I'm not gonna get everything done, but I think I'm just gonna give myself a little bit of time to do something before I go to work. Anyway, I am excited to spend the day with you guys, and hopefully we can get through this day together with positive vibes. The trip to Target was anticlimactic, but I got some seltzers for the studio, and I did get some combs, like hair combs that I showed you. I saw a really cool tutorial that she did in this course on how to take like a whipped soap and use combs for texture. So I guess it's a win. I shouldn't say it was a total loss, but I'm back in the studio and I need to get my butt in gear. I have to unpack from my pop-up, so I'm gonna do that first and then get going on orders. Okay, I just got a wholesale order for a couple bath bombs that I am running low on. I usually stock my bath bombs like, I think it's usually 50 I keep in stock, but she needs 30 of the blush and peony and 18 of the lavender, which I have, but since I'm gonna have to make these, I might as well just restock these while I'm at it. So that's the plan. I am restocking some bath bombs. It'll take me probably an hour. I'm only gonna make 36 of each. My bath bombs have not been selling well, which is crazy because, I mean, not crazy, but it is where I do a lot of my custom packaging. So yeah, they're not selling as well online for me as they used to. So I have to reevaluate that category. I don't think I'm gonna do any more spring summer ones, at least by the packaging. I have quite a bit in the boxes that are back here. So, and I have the two new scents, the two new summer scents, the Soleil and the Seaside that I just launched. So it's not like I'll have no bath bombs, but they're really slowing down as far as category. So I'm curious if that's the same for any of you guys that make them, but I still have to restock a few. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna show you my setup. I've shown you before some of the bath bomb stuff, but let me just give you a quick overview before we get started. I make all my bath bombs at this station here. I pretty much have everything I need, my colorants, all that jazz, and my table is nice and clean, so is my KitchenAid, and I have my SLSA, my kaolin clay, my grapeseed oil, my alcohol. One tip I learned for bath bombs, sometimes you guys message me, I use 70% in the bath bomb, 91 to decorate it, but if you are in a humid climate, make sure you're using alcohol and not witch hazel. If you are in a more humid climate, I have heard that witch hazel is better. So if you are struggling with your bath bombs, that's a little tip. I have my awesome bath bomb press that I've had for 3 years now, and it is so good. This little baby makes the perfect bath bombs. They are tight and compact, and it's a lifesaver. And then I have my tray here with these little round discs. These are just so that when the bath bomb is sitting here, it doesn't get a flat bottom. So I just rest the bath bomb in here while they cure overnight. They're pretty hard after 12-ish hours, and by 24, when I come in tomorrow to paint them, they will be perfect. And then I have my 2 containers here of citric acid and baking soda, which I think I need to open a new bag. So there's that. And then, yeah, that is pretty much it. So that is pretty much it for my setup. I did take a class on bath bombs when I went to the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetics Guild conference that was in Texas back in 2019, which is where I met Lee from the Bath Bomb Press. So that's how long I've had this, but I learned a lot. Ariane Arsenal taught it with Lee, and so they gave a lot of information around bath bombs. It was something I was struggling with a little bit, and now I feel like I know all the troubleshooting stuff. So if you are thinking of getting into bath bombs, even though I just told you they're not selling well for me, they might sell well for you. It's definitely worth looking at both of those 2 resources to get some information. But yeah, I'm gonna make my lavender and my blush and peony, and then we have to make some whipped soaps too, but I wanted to get these made because they actually have a little bit of a curing time. And my sister-in-law is coming tomorrow to work, so I'll have her just wrap them tomorrow. It's about 3 o'clock and I just finished all the bath bombs. They are curing, so my sister-in-law will wrap those tomorrow. And I did all my packages, so I do need to do one more thing to make it, but quite frankly, I'm just not in the headspace to make my whipped soaps today. I have a bunch of body butters for her to label when she gets here tomorrow, so I'm like, you know what? I'll do it the first thing in the morning. It will be fine. I have 2 orders that need this product, so it's not that big of a deal if it's one more day. I did ask you guys yesterday if there were things that you wanted to see in any of my vlogs, and a few of you wrote to me. So first of all, thank you. If you're not following me on Instagram yet, it is linked here, but it's just at Caitlin M. Blue, and I've been posting pretty regularly on there. It's a great way for you to see some other more behind the scenes stuff. It's not all the same stuff I put on YouTube. It's a little bit different. So anyway, shameless plug is over. I can't even talk. So one of the things that you guys asked was how I found my studio space. I was very fortunate, and I was working with my friend Lisa. She was a wholesaler, so a retailer, and I was wholesaling my products to her. She was selling my goods in her store. I did a couple pop-ups. So one day when I was dropping off her order, I noticed this garage space back here. And so I kind of just casually mentioned it to her. And a few months later, it was put in the works to have it renovated and set up for me. So I was very fortunate. I will say it's a very difficult thing to try and find a studio space, especially one that is the size of mine, which is about 400 square feet. There is a website called LoopNet, and you can find a lot of studios, not really studios, a lot of industrial manufacturing type buildings for lease or even for sale, but I've found that those are much bigger. So a lot of the times they're 2,000 square feet and above, but it's worth looking at. I keep looking just to see, also because I want to know in my area what a good rent is by square footage. So my space is very affordable. It's $600 a month. However, I think when I calc it out, that's like $19 a square foot. As you go into a bigger studio or warehouse with 3,000 square feet, your price per square foot should go down. So I always just like to do some research. It's the same kind of thing as buying a house. You just have to get on the online. That sounded so bad. You just have to get online and do your research. And then if you are building relationships in your community, I would just start to talk to people who might have some space. They might not even be thinking that. So that's kind of how it worked for me. Can you talk about your label maker that you got, not the one for shipping labels? Okay, I have been not talking about this because it's more of a negative review, and I hate to talk negatively about anyone's business or products, but I invested in the Primera label printer, which was about $4,000 2 years ago, and it was amazing the first year. Literally the same kind of labels I'm getting professionally printed at home. I was very amazed by it. Somehow in a year's time, it just didn't work. I was on the help desk one night for 5 hours trying to get it fixed. They couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. Finally, I just gave up on the help desk with them. I got new ink cartridges, which are super expensive. They're like $140 to redo the cartridge. And even though it said they were like a third full, you had to still replace it, they said. So there were just a lot of things that I really regret about it, even though I did my research. It could totally be user error on my end, but I just feel like I can't waste my time. I was getting so frustrated every time I would go to print the same files that I had before for my body butter labels. It would just discolor. Basically, that was the issue. It wasn't printing the right colors, yet the ink cartridge was brand new, and I cleaned the heads and everything. So to not get too technical, but I wouldn't recommend their printer. I honestly have just gone back to Blue Label and having them print everything, which might be a little bit more expensive, but it is not a headache. It is super easy, and they're super fast and efficient, and that's what's working for me in my business right now. So yeah, I don't really recommend that printer. If you're printing labels from home, depending upon how you are printing them, I suggest onlinelabels.com. That's what I use for my candles and my room sprays and things like that, and they're amazing. How to start selling your homemade soap. If you are starting out and not selling at all, I would first start with your friends and family. If you've already done that, I would start to get into some local markets, whether it's farmers markets or craft fair markets, and just get your products out there. I know I talk a lot here that I don't do markets anymore, but in the beginning of my business, doing markets is the best thing for you to get out there and get your product out there and get people talking about you and getting the word of mouth spreading around. So I would just say, you know, find some things local and don't stress about having to expand. I would just stick in your community. It's amazing what you can do, what you can build in your own community, and people absolutely love buying that local. So if you are in a town and you're at the farmer's market in that town and you have a sign that you're from that town, I feel like people will love that. So that would be my first couple steps. Okay, this one's from Jessica. The mental struggles, that's perfect for today. The mental struggles when starting your business, doubts, fears, finding time with your other job. So the finding time with my other job, when I had a full-time job, I was doing this on the side, and I look back now and I don't really know how I got through it, but I think it's just the motivation to quit my job was the biggest part of it, and so I just did it. But finding the time, you have to make sacrifices, which is hard. I had to give up my weekends and my nights, and all of my vacation time for the most part went to doing my business. So at the tail end of my last year, when we, you know, pre-COVID, I would take a day or two off to just make product. And I realized that that was the most important thing to me to grow my business, and it was more important for me to take those vacation days to build my business when, you know, everything else is taken care of. If you have, I didn't have kids, but if you have kids, I know that throws a whole other wrench into it, and it can really put a struggle on your time management. But those are the sacrifices that I made. So it wasn't easy, but I basically just used every free minute that I had. And then I also still gave myself grace. I felt like if I could do one thing every day, even as small as sending an email or posting on Instagram, then I was gonna give myself and say that was a successful day. So I guess just, you know, don't try and boil the ocean while you're still working a full-time job, because you're gonna drive yourself crazy and it's very difficult. So give yourself some grace while you do that. And then dealing with the mental struggles with doubts and fear. That is something that I just feel like I naturally am always trying to be so positive, and in my mind, even if I feel like I have doubts, I try and like trick myself into saying like, nope, it's gonna work. Like, why wouldn't it work? And I think for me, one of the quotes that really resonates in my mind, if you're having doubts about starting something or you feel like it's already been done by people, I believe it was Elizabeth Gilbert who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, which I love that book and that movie, but in a different book, she basically said, people will sometimes say, oh, that's already been done before. But she basically says, you haven't done it. It hasn't been done by you. And we all have such a unique ability and a unique vision that you doing something, so you making a bar of soap, your end result is going to be so different from mine. And that's why I started this channel, because I feel like we can all benefit. We can all be successful. There's no way I can possibly make enough soap for everybody in the world or even this country or even my own state, to be honest. So I think that the idea that you just keep telling yourself that, like, why can't it be you? And that was when I would sort of get people in my personal life who would doubt that this could be a thing. I would just say, well, why couldn't it be me? If somebody else can be famous, if somebody else can be rich, if somebody else can be, you know, whatever you want to call it, why can't I be a small business owner that's successful? And those were sort of the things that kept me going. And to this day, when I still have doubts, even today, I feel like I have to pump myself up. And it's not easy because you're the one that's gonna have to pump yourself up, but that's what makes it so much more rewarding when you do get through a milestone or you get into through your journey and things that are good happen to you, which is why I always say to celebrate those things, because when we're in low points, kind of like I am today, it's the struggle. It's like you have to keep going. You have to, I didn't want to make bath bombs today, but I did because it's my business. And if I don't, there's nobody else here that's going to make them. And I have a customer that is wanting to pay me for them. So I need to do it, whether or not it's something that I want to do today. So anyway, that was a big ramble, but dealing with the doubt and the fear is not easy, but I would just say, keep moving forward. Just look at every day as one step forward. And if you truly, truly want it, if you don't know if you want it, then I would say you need to reevaluate. But if you truly want this and you want to work for yourself, then just keep telling yourself, why not me? Okay, that was long. I've been talking for 11 minutes. All right, I think that's the rest of I think that's the bulk of the questions. I saved 2 of them for another maybe longer video, but I am going to wrap up and head home. I have a couple things to do. I need to go home and actually make my labels for spring and summer that I send to Blue Label for my whipped soaps. I need to get those going because I also have a custom order. So I've got some computer work at home. So I did not have good luck at Target, like I told you guys, but I came home and I have about three Amazon packages of stuff that I ordered yesterday for photos. I honestly try to find some unique stuff, but at the end of the day, Amazon is just the place to go. So I will show you what I got. Okay, so I got a lot of acrylic stuff, mainly because Amanda, really recommends that you do, okay, this is not what I ordered. Sorry, I'm doing too many things. So it's supposed to be acrylic, but it's got this weird color on it, so that's not right. Let me show you what really I ordered. So I've ordered more acrylic stuff like this. So essentially, this is on your colored background, and then you have your product. And the best part about this is using these palette knives. She uses this one a lot, is you can do those really cool makeup and cosmetic smears. I think that one thing I'm figuring out from just running an online store, not doing things in person, is people want to see the product. They want to see how it looks, and so as much information as I can give them online, the better, and the better conversion I'm gonna have. So I feel like I will get some really good content from my website to help customers get an idea. And then I got a few different sized ones here, so I'm excited about those. I'm excited about these to do the smear stuff. This one looks a little bit more normal. They just got a round one. Yeah, this must be a protective film. That's what it is. That makes much more sense. Same with this. So I'm not gonna do that right now because that looks like it's going to take me a while, and I still have 2 other packages. Well, actually one is a light. I bought a new light, a new studio light for photography. I have some really expensive lights, but they are strobe lights. So think of like when you would take yearbook photos, and they basically are lights that when you hit the shutter button, they flash. So they're good for product photography, but not good for video. And I really want to capture some good video. And my house is terrible for natural light. It's just not great. So I'm learning a lot from Amanda, obviously, as you can tell. So I invested in some studio lights. I got mirrors. I'm so excited about this. Her photos with mirrors in them are unbelievable. So I'm excited to try these, and there are quite a few different sizes, which is kind of cool. Just tear it open. Let's just tear it open. Okay, may need the scissors again. Okay. Well, that's not great that one of them is already broken, but that's what I get for buying an $8 set on Amazon, which this one's not even my favorite. What I really wanted to use was the circles. There's 2 different size circles here. I really thought this like squiggly one was really cool. And there are protective films on here. And then there's 2 things there. Rectangles. That's what I was thinking of, rectangles. And then this last one is just my new light. So I have some props. These are all gonna be super useful, and I'm excited about them. I still have some flowers. I may sneak out to Michael's tomorrow to get some new florals, but I just love the look of what Amanda does for beauty brands, and she quite frankly uses minimal props. The props that she uses are things like this, which really don't take away from the product. I think maybe what I've been doing is kind of not complimenting the products as well. So anyway, I am really tired, and you guys have been with me all day, and I feel like I've been a bit of a downer. So like I said, I had some computer work to do, which is boring, but I'm gonna be doing my just labels, and it's not even fun labels. I'm just changing out the names of my clear labels. So I have the Adobe Illustrator file, and honestly just put the new name in, save it, and send it off to my printer. So I think today is one of those days I'm gonna pour a glass of wine and do my computer work. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's vlog. I will see you in the next one when we're gonna do a lot of photo stuff in the next one. So hopefully you guys are excited about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.